First of all, I want to thank ASCON for canvassing and lobbying for me publicly. I hope the president is watching.
Thank you.
But I also want to say that it is Abraham Lincoln who said that when you're forming government, one of the best decisions he did in the US was to form what we now call the team of rivals. If you read Abraham Lincoln's book, The Team of Rivals, he picked his rivals, his fiercest opponents, and they formed sort of what we could call a grand coalition government. So I hope the president, while forming his cabinet or his government, reorganizing the government, is able to identify other key people who have the mind and the attitude to help him achieve the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. If he's able to identify that, then he'll be able to reach out across the political spectrum and actually tap into the other minds that are not necessarily in the Kenya Kwanza rank and file. So back to the question that you asked, I think, and I want to agree with all the gentlemen here, that we need to approach the issue of integrating young people into all spheres of life from the bottom up. And that's why we came up with a manifesto called the bottom up. We used to say the Kamentrel, the bottom up, Pesa Mfukoni, Kenya Kwanza. That was our clarion call throughout the campaign. And I think the president means it. We want to see his implementation matrix, how he's going to implement the manifesto. If you read through the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, because I've read it twice, it is a well-detailed document with a clear implementation plan, with even specific budgets from this financial year to this financial year. They have even segmented the implementation of the manifesto from the quick wins to the short term, medium term, and the long term. What is to be done immediately in the 6 months? What is to be done between 6 to 18 months? What is to be done between 18 to 36 months? And what is to be done up to 5 years and beyond? So it is a detailed document, and I hope he's able to get the right team, assemble the right talent to be able to help him implement that manifesto. On the issue, for example, the issue that the Kenya Kwanza manifesto speaks largely that is going to create more jobs and create a ripple effect in the economy is the issue of agriculture. And they have identified 5 value chains, from dairy to poultry to crops, such as maize, the bananas, the coffee, the tea. They are value chains they have identified in the Kenya Kwanza manifesto that are going to be able to create jobs immediately. For instance, on the dairy sector, the manifesto is speaking to the issue of doubling the income, the milk production from the current average of 18 liters per cow to 35 liters. That is what the manifesto is speaking into. That means the dairy farmer will be able to get double the income and be able to increase the milk production in the country. Same goes to the maize farmers. That's why you saw the president from day one, he is announcing the fertilizer and he's scrapping off the subsidy so that we are able to have a long-term view. And I like the approach the president is taking, a long-term view of the solutions instead of going for the shortcut and then at the end of it, it's very costly.
Okay, so do you think politician, technocrat?
I think it should be a blend of talent. There are politicians actually who are very good in terms of communicating government agendas. And that's why, speaking to the question of cabinet appearing before parliament, it was disengaged from the 2010 constitution because we adopted a pure presidential system where cabinet is picked outside parliament. But in this case, we still have this constitution. Cabinet is picked from outside parliament. Unless if he picks parliamentarians, they have to resign their positions so they're able to join cabinet. But I like the idea of increasing the levels of accountability in government by having members of cabinet appearing before the representatives of the people, just like what you used to see before in the former constitution, where CSs appear to respond to questions directly raised by members of parliament. This will increase the levels of accountability on the part of government. I'm waiting to see which parts of the standing orders they are going to amend, sort of to create that avenue for CSS to appear. Probably it will be a committee of the whole house or something like that because the case is very different. Right now it is the chairperson of the relevant committees of parliament who pick the responses from CSS and then report to parliament. So they convert committee chairpersons to be defenders of government when actually it is parliament and the parliamentarians who should be oversighting the executive, irrespective whether from the ruling party.
Okay.
So this is going to be a very good thing going forward. But generally speaking, the idea of young people being part and parcel of decision making is very good. We have also seen a lot of inhibitive conditions put on young people, especially on their work experience. And that's why if you look at the Kenya Kwanza Youth Charter, it is speaking about the issue of corporate mentorship, where young people are mentored progressively up the ladder so that they are able to have some skills so that the issue of experience, for example, I've seen a lot of adverts today from many counties demanding, declaring vacancies of chief officers, ministers in the counties. And if you look at the experience, number one is 10 years experience in government. How do you expect a young person to have 10 years in the experience in the private sector and government so they're able to take up those leadership positions? Okay. Whereas in the national level, we are seeing people who don't have the commensurate experience being appointed to very senior positions in government. So I think some of these things need to be moved out.